This is Build It Baby, the show for big ideas, brave pivots, and bold next chapters. So let's do it. Let's build it, baby. Well, if you're a dreamer who does, you're in the right place. I'm Penelope Bent, and this is Build It Baby, where authentic intelligence meets strategy, and your next move becomes your best one. So let's build it, baby. Well, I think it's time. I think it's time that we start talking about the big white elephant in the room. And that is artificial intelligence. The world is getting so big, technology has reached such heights. Many are unsure of the direction they have chosen, and then there's artificial intelligence. The questions: will I be replaced by a robot? Is automation going to rule the world? And honestly, I don't think any of us have the answer to that one. But there are a few things I do know, and I think it is worth discussing. We're all talking about artificial intelligence, and for good reason. It's fast, it's efficient, and unbelievably powerful. But in the rush to automate and optimize, many of us are forgetting something. There is another type of AI that's even more essential to building your business, your career, or your life. And that is authentic intelligence. I believe there are two kinds of AI that are shaping the world right now: artificial intelligence and authentic intelligence. We're living in a time where machines are getting smarter, but humans, we're getting louder, we're getting busier and more unsure of ourselves. We're dealing with indecision, and our fear level is off the emotional chart. We are all hungry for conversation about how to stay human, grounded and intentional, while the world is being automated, and essentially, in my belief, we are giving our own personal power away and completely ignoring many of the amazing gifts we have received at birth. So I want you to listen to this just for a sec, because here's what I believe is the real truth. Artificial intelligence may be powerful, but it is not you. AI can speed things up, but it cannot replace your inner compass, lived experience, intuition, or wisdom of a human being who has walked the road. Let's take just a sec and look at artificial intelligence as a tool, not as the end all, but I want you to think about it as just simply a tool that you can use in building your business, career, or life today. Artificial intelligence can help you brainstorm faster, perhaps see some new angles. It can definitely automate your workload, maybe generate some content, or get things done quickly. It's efficient, it's helpful, and I know it's here to stay. And honestly, I love using it as a partner, as a tool. There's so many times that I'll, write a comment or an idea that I have to put the podcast together, and I'll run some research through AI. I'll gather some data. I'll see what some statistics are out there. What are people struggling with? And I want to be clear here. AI makes suggestions, but you, the human, you make decisions. Now let's talk about AI for a minute. The AI, the gift. So one's the tool, but authentic intelligence is the gift. I believe that lives within you ever since the day you were born. This is the part of you that machines can't touch. It's your intuition, that nudge. It's discernment. It's your creative insight, the creativity that you bring to the build, to the idea, to the project. It's your lived experience. Authentic intelligence is your emotional wisdom. And it also is your courage to act on your ideas, your gut. It brings your vision. It's your story. Authentic intelligence is your inner knowing. Basically, it's all wrapped up in your story, your voice, your perspective. These are the gifts you already have. You just need to trust them. So I think when we think about, artificial intelligence and authentic intelligence, I don't think that we have to choose one or the other. But here's some of the concerns that I have. My real question is, are you outsourcing your power? Because I believe so many people get so lost with this artificial intelligence, they start letting tech or other people think for them. We Google instead of listening inward. We compare instead of creating. We poll people instead of pausing and thinking the idea through. We look for answers outside when all along the truth, the instinct, the real piece that is going to attract people to your business or people in your life. The truth is all inside. It's never been outside. Authentic intelligence gets drowned out by the noise. It gets so lost in the popularity of this new piece that people embrace or they're fearing. And thinking for ourselves becomes a struggle. Ideas become confused, and uncertainty and fear begin to rule the day. So what I'd like for you to do is let's take a look at this clearly. And I want to ask you to ask yourself this simple question. Where am I outsourcing my decisions? Are you outsourcing them to the internet? Are you letting the internet make your decisions? Are you outsourcing to people who don't know your vision? Are you outsourcing it to your own feelings, that feeling of overwhelm? Or the worst one, are you allowing your fear? Is the fear where you're outsourcing? Are you outsourcing your decisions to tools, trends, or the world instead of trusting what you already know? So the big question is, what would happen if you stopped doubting your authentic intelligence and start using it? You have gifts and skills and intuition and knowledge that is so much more superior to making these final pieces and decisions in your life, in your build, in your career. You have the power. This automation is just simply an additional tool that you can use, but you're the decision maker. And the magic isn't in choosing one of the AIs over the other. The magic, in my opinion, is the blend. We need to use both types of AI. And I'll tell you why. Because artificial intelligence can speed you up. It can help with the build. It can grab data faster than you could if you were sitting in the library researching. But authentic intelligence guides you. That's the piece that is that inner compass that helps you in making those decisions, deciding what fork in the road you're going to take. Artificial intelligence gives you options, but authentic intelligence gives you the direction. That piece, that knowing, that you of authentic intelligence gives you the direction, the right choice, the right path to choose, the one that is aligned with your soul, with your being, with your desires in this lifetime. Artificial intelligence just simply supports your process. But authentic intelligence, it defines your purpose. It defines you. It defines your build. Remember when we were talking about marketing several months ago, and we talked about how people can read through it. They read through marketing that comes from the heart, that knowing that you really want to build a product and something that is amazing for people. And the win comes when you use the tool without losing your truth. When you maintain your power and use AI as a tool to help you, to aid you in your build, not allowing your belief in yourself to be minimized. That's the real win. So before we move on, I'd like you to help you hear your own voice again. I want you to pick one area of your business, career, or life where you've been doubting yourself. And before you search or you ask or you poll or you prompt anything else, I want you to pause. Be in your own being. Take a breath. And really notice how many voices have been influencing this decision. What advice? What content? What opinions? What trends or tools? Even AI. What has been influencing you in the decisions that you're trying to make for your life? Now ask yourself, what do I already know here? What does my authentic intelligence say when the noise is quiet? What happens if I trust that first thought and the first ideas and the first gut instinct? And then I use tools second. Because your build, any build, isn't created from force or a faster answer. It's created by you from clarity, with your authentic belief in what you want to bring to the world. Your voice. It's your soul jumping up and down and speaking your truth. And that type of a build will always have clients and customers and those that need your help. When you build authentically, you build for all of us. So in today's marketplace, in today's world, you don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to be the most authentic. Artificial intelligence can't replace that. It can only support it. You're the creator. You're the energy. You're the signal behind it, the light, the power behind it all. You're the very being to bring ideas into the marketplace, to bring products and services into the marketplace. Your life is alive and is ready and willing to bring ideas and helpful tools to all of us out here. And I think that one thing that is so important in business that I have noticed lately is that when I receive emails, which, when you're in business, you receive, just a ton of reach outs on LinkedIn with new products or direct emails to my email. And I'll tell you one thing, I can spot an AI email in a heartbeat. They're flat. They may say, oh, so-and-so found you on LinkedIn. Blah, 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 blah. They don't read like a real person. They have no passion behind it. I can spot one of those emails in a frickin' heartbeat. And I'll tell you what, I eliminate them immediately. I am not interested in doing business with someone that can't sit down and write a damn email and show me what their product is about. And the other piece that really is starting to fry my bacon is that you'll get an email that you just know was not really authentic, but you're kind of slightly interested in the product, so you're kind of overlooking that idea. And then when you agree to have the meeting, they switch up and move you to meet with some other individual that hasn't even been mentioned. I don't even know who the hell that is. So that's an immediate, oh, hell no. So I think the conclusion here is AI is helpful, but your authentic intelligence is magnetic. These AI correspondence and using AI as the voice of your business, are you serious? Really? Because I'm telling you, it's a gigantic mistake in today's marketplace. There are thousands of people who can ask a bot for ideas. But there's only one person that can bring your lived truth, your soul, your humor, your fire, your being into the marketplace. And by God, that is you. Authenticity is today's world's most must-have as part of your business strategy. If you do not bring your product to market with truth, with authenticity, and your authentic voice, you'll be spotted a mile away. So hear me here. Success in 2026 has to be a blend of artificial and authentic intelligence. Use artificial as a tool. Gather your data. Then you decide what pieces are going to work for you, what pieces are not, what data will help your clients, what other pieces you can throw out. The people who will thrive in this era will be the ones who know how to leverage artificial intelligence and trust their authentic intelligence. Blend structure with soul and use these tools without losing your truth. And lastly, for God's sake, don't be afraid of it. It is never going to replace you. It is never going to replace the human spirit. You know, they can talk it till hell freezes over, but that is not going to happen because humans need other humans. Humans know when you ring true to them. Humans know when you walk into a room and you light up because everything that you've said about your company came from you. You're glowing with that information. Do you really think that if you throw artificial words out there and artificial blah, 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 that when you run in or meet your clients or have a face-to-face, do you think that those two things are ever going to match? You talk about an imposter. There's where the imposter syndrome lies. You can't fool human beings. They may not know right away, but when they leave that meeting, there is something that is going to tell their gut, there is something about that was just really fishy. It didn't feel true to me. The product, did not feel authentic. Because you know why? It wasn't coming from an authentic voice. It was just words on a piece of paper or something that was said, but it had no connection. AI is helpful, but your authentic intelligence is magnetic. The only one person that can bring your lived truth, your soul, your humor, your fire, like I said before, is you. In a world where artificial intelligence is everywhere, where tools and prompts and shortcuts and automations, there's one intelligent technology that can never be replaced, and that is your authentic intelligence. You cannot duplicate it, and you cannot replace it. There is a very powerful difference between AI that runs on data and AI that runs on your inner knowing. Authentic intelligence is the birthplace of every decision that's changed your life. It's the thing you feel in your gut before you can even put it to words. And if you have ever been overwhelmed by tech or doubting your instincts, let this be your reminder. You already know more than you think you do. You already have what you need to take the next step. Use the tools, but trust yourself. This is the future of smart, soulful success. AI can assist you, but it can't become you. Authenticity is your real business strategy. You're the most intelligent technology you'll ever access. And I hope this conversation brings you home to the one thing no machine will ever replicate, and that is you. So here's the part where I tell you exactly what I know. These are my knowings, the things I no longer question because they've shown themselves to me again and again. Not from a book, but from building, getting knocked down, getting back up, and doing this work in the real world. Okay, so these are my knowings. Number 1, I know that tools can amplify your work, but they can never replace your inner compass. Technology can make things faster, cleaner, and more efficient, but it cannot tell you what matters, what aligns, or what's yours to build. That guidance has always come from within. Number 2, I know that the more overwhelmed and uncertain we feel, the more likely we are to outsource our power. When fear is high and noise is loud, we stop trusting ourselves. We look outward for answers that already exist inward. Clarity doesn't come from more input. It comes from listening more closely. And number 3, I know that the people who will thrive in this era won't be the ones who know the most. They'll be the ones who trust themselves the most. Authenticity is no longer optional. Your lived experience, your intuition, and inner knowings aren't soft skills. They're strategic advantages that no machine can replicate. So those are my knowings. Okay, it's one of my favorite times of the show. Let's go to listener questions. And this one is from Dawn, D-A-W-N, female, in Sunnyvale, California. Okay, here's Dawn's question. I have decided to start my own business. Well, congratulations. Very exciting. That's the best news I've heard all day. So the question is, if you were going to start a new business today, would you build a Main Street physical business or an online business? Excellent, excellent question. I actually have been turning this around in my head because I'm working on another project that I have been for a billion years wanting to look at it as a physical location. And so I'm, kind of going back and forth. Great question. I've been thinking about this myself. So, Dawn, my answer to that question is, I think it has a lot to do with what skill set, what finances and what skill set you have right now in your toolbox. I think in so many respects, building a business on Main Street is really almost a faster build because you're opening a physical location, whether it's a computer store or a clothing store or a restaurant or a gym, whatever that is. Because I think from a marketing strategy, it's so much easier to connect with people. You can physically get involved in the Chamber of Commerce. You have a storefront. You have foot traffic. you have people walking in your store and your relationship with them will spread the word. You can have events at your store that can be, learning experiences for your clients or whatever the piece may be. But from a financial perspective, it's going to mean, buying the building or leasing the building for the physical location. So you've got to have those monies up front. I always think it's amazing if you can build a business in a storefront where you have a little apartment upstairs and put your mortgage together with the building. That would be a perfect win-win. But I think from a financial position, sometimes those upfront monies are not in the coffers. So you can look at, okay, well, I know a lot of skills. I know how to build websites. I've got my product together, and maybe the first phase of it would be an online presentation for the product. But the downside of that, in my opinion, is the marketing. It is a very tedious, long process to get buyers to come in, to be found on the internet. The internet has 1 billion businesses out there, and people are flooded all the time with new products and new services. So I think for me, if I could blend the two of them together, if I was in a position where I could find a physical space and build that out at the same time building the online presence, I think that would be a very big positive way to approach it. But I also think unless you're planning on working the floor, being in the building, you've got to add in all the pieces of the employees. So I think you've got to run a parallel plan and list, where are the monies? What would it cost for me to open a small physical location? What if I was to open up, try to build an online? What's my skill set that? Am I going to have to hire someone to do all my marketing? So believe it or not, I think the last piece is this. In your physical location, will it eventually be able to bring home the monies that you desire? I think so many times today, people want to build such big things that in order to bring home that kind of money, it's got to have more of a global presence. And so it's going to take a lot longer. It's going to maybe have to have more investors. Maybe a smaller physical location may not bring home quite the numbers that these gigantic numbers. You might not be living in a $45 million mansion, but it might be a great business that you could build out that would make enough money to support your family comfortably and so on. So I think all of those things, you have to look at all of those pieces and all of those parts. But that was a great question and one that I have been toying with myself. So if I get any more answers to that one, Dawn, I certainly will give you a shout out. But thank you again for asking such a great question. Well, it's that time. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of Build It Baby. Authentic intelligence is the birthplace of every decision that's changed your life. It's the thing you feel in your gut before you can put words to it. And unlike technology, your authentic intelligence doesn't need an update. It just needs your attention. AI does the busy work, but you deliver the brilliance. Always best, P. Build It Baby is a Rainy Day Production House original, hosted by Penelope Bent and produced and edited by Morgan Clymer. Music by Yuri Shemshashin and Oleksiy Holobiev. If this episode spoke to you, please follow the show and leave a review. It helps more dreamers like you find us. And remember, you're not just building a bold business or a career, you're building a bold life.